That's what they were saying. Like, oh my gosh, don't go down. It's the eclipse. Whatever, it's the eclipse.
It's Mercury in retrograde.
And then we didn't understand boots. Because you remember Blinky?
Winky.
One lady walks in and she's like a mom or something. Like a kindergarten mom.
She's big.
She's very endowed.
She's very developed, okay?
And she puts up a good front as my and we're like, we've never seen this before. And we're literally like staring at this woman's boobs. And then one of our friends like, bongi, bongi, bongi. And we're like, we just lost it. And then forever, like, when we first started getting, we're like, bongi, bongi, bongi. So we thought it was the greatest thing ever. Like, running.
It's because you know what it was.
We grew up together like, from there.
Well, you have to also remember, like, we were only children.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
our other friends, like,
We hear topics from politics, social media, academia, friends and family. You wonder about yours and their mentality. Our thoughts and actions aren't in conjunction and realize there may be an obstruction. The sky appears a different shade of blue when we realize we may be in the shadow of an eclipsed view.
My first boob story.
We should have talked about Boingy Boingy because it's religion. What did it do?
we did.
We prayed.
To God.
We went to confession because of that.
We did. Like,
Okay. Just keep this with you.
okay.
Guess that's all.
Work.
Test. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The red one is hard to get off, I think.
The white usually comes in.
I have a house for children. I have a boatload of white.
Mine is honestly white, I think.
It's not red.
Uh-huh.
Red you did. Don't do it.
I'll do it. Excuse me. You've been watching too many red podcasts. Did you see the ones where some people were taking notes?
No.
Make me nervous.
Oh, it's me too.
Child, bring it down.
I was like, you're echoing. You're over. Hurry up. Let's try.
There's more?
There's more.
Okay, here we go.
What did you say? You doing yourself?
I have meetings tomorrow. I can't.
That means you need red or an Advil. Or red and Advil. Red and Advil. Did I say that better?
I did.
Here we go.
Welcome to
Eclipsed Views, where we see what it takes to change our views. We take difficult topics and try to identify what's blocking our view.
Is that a coincidence or is it really an eclipse?
Yes, I did want to mention that. So this is a special edition of Eclipsed Views because we're on location in San Antonio with our guests, and we are here for the eclipse. Yes. Take difficult topics. If you are usually offended, this may not be for you. So just come back to a later time. But we'd like to Sal Melendez,
Veronica Moore.
and our guests are
Adrian Chavez.
Anna Chavez.
and our topic today is religion in schools. And you want to tell Meadow why this particular topic was
interest? Well, because all of us went to religious schools, minus one. So
So we should say which that minus one to say utility.
That's a good tactic.
Let's save it. Let's save it.
Maybe
One of those
we'll
things
say
is not like the other.
that Catholic Trey, who did not have that background in Catholic education.
We're also doing a party.
It's late now the children should be asleep.
Except for our hearing.
Don't be silly. He's so cute.
I got into this through street epistemology, motive Socratic questioning. How did you come to that stance? Are those reasons legitimate enough to continue to hold that stance? Or is it just conjecture forming an opinion based on incomplete information? Biases, however, are you of your inclinations? Those who do that aren't watching the video. Let's try to chug water away from the mic.
Well, I like how you're very indiscreet about that. The very last second. Oh, there's the camera. As if you have not done this before.
But I haven't had this much to drink.
But look, we're talking about religion and schools.
I'm drinking Jesus'
I was gonna say, we still have another bottle of that sucker, so let's go.
He's so sweet. What a sweet man. Can you imagine what somebody's blood tastes like?
So show you guys
All of this is
wait.
No, this is gold. For Sal. I told you. I was like, watching your podcast. I was like, I'm telling you, it was
Your dogs are going knuckling cuts.
Yeah.
they're hungry right now. But my baby's asleep, and I need him to be dead asleep before I bring him in.
Amen.
There's also might be their dog. Our dog. Damn dog scratched at the door and barked at the door and it's not time yet. Shut up.
You guys feel like you're at home.
That's our goal. I was gonna start cussing out dogs.
All right. So your little sheet here for the scenario. You guys are familiar with the format, and I'll present the scenario.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay,
I
so
think
I'll
people
present
in
my
the group.
He's the imposter.
Could that be? Uh-oh.
So,
And you're pouring your drink before you start working.
That's because Jesus shared his blood with his disciples. We're supposed to break.
No.
He's responsible.
So the whole Eclipsed Views thing is to try to take difficult topics and try to identify what's blocking our own view. So it's trying to change other people's minds, but what would it take to change our own minds? And even if it's through small increments, the Japanese term Kaizen is improvement in small increments. So scenarios are, I'll present 3 scenarios. And I'll give you on a scale of 1 to 10. So present 3 scenarios on a scale of 1 to 10. You guys will put it where you fall on that scale. And try to go with gut reaction, not too many.
10 like
10.
Yeah, I'll present it like the question right now. But go with gut reaction. Not too many follow-up questions because that's the point of the rest of the episode. We'll discuss it and then we'll come back to it at the end, see if our stance changed at all.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. You guys ready for scenario 1?
It's easy.
Alright, so if it's religion in schools, say they are introducing a religion into school, but it is not a religion you're a part of. So, for example, if you guys are Christian, let's say they're going to introduce Islam or Buddhism or whatever else. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, how okay would you be with this? 0 is not okay, and 10 definitely okay.
How big we write on these numbers? I'm curious. If there's 3 scenarios, are we strategically writing this number?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I just took a little this right here. Give you a big
Oh, no, write it,
You can
erase
erase
it,
it,
and then on the next one.
Okay. Well, this was something like a cue card type of setup, but you know.
But we started doing the cue cards because we started realizing that we were influenced by each other. So we took turns, like you say yours first, and then you say yours, and by the time we got to the last one, they'd all feel like, oh, maybe I should line between this.
No fives.
Oh yeah. No fives. You can't be in the middle. You gotta either choose 6 or 4, or even 5.1 or 4.1. No, nothing in the middle.
Feel like back at school.
I do.
So how did we get together? Every time.
All right. You ready
I'm
to?
ready.
The first
Yes.
person?
Yes.
All right.
On the count of 3, reveal our answers. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Ah, tens, 6, 8. Wow.
Wants to go first? Let's have a guess.
Explain yours.
Explain ourselves. Okay, so what am I explaining? Why I'm okay with them?
Well, yeah, why I guess how you
Yeah, why are you
learn
a 10?
Well, because I think it's important that these kids, anybody, grow up learning about different cultures, about different religions. Because even when you look at psychology studies, you know, when it comes to researching and looking at like how racism and hate develop, if you put, they've shown it, you know, if you put one black baby and one white baby together, they don't know the difference. They just know we're gonna play. Well, you use that mentality throughout the grade school and work their way up. They're not gonna know any difference. They're not gonna sit there and be like, oh, you're Muslim. Oh, you're Jewish. Oh, you're Christian. It's just something else that they're learning and becoming a more tolerant human society versus, well, we need to separate everybody and everybody needs to be in their own little niche. While we still have our own beliefs and we still, you know, nurture that within our families, within our friends, however, you know, we all do it. But they grow to respect. They would grow to respect those other families, and it wouldn't be. It's not, for lack of a better word, so foreign. You know, friends nowadays, like my kids go to school, and there are so many different ethnicities and cultures that join in that, you know, even our own daughters like. I've never heard of this. Why are they, you know, why is so-and-so doing this versus why do they do this? And we do this. How come that? And it's just teaching them. It's not at this age and the smaller ages, they're true questions. What's happening? Why is it happening? It's not a vicious, like, why are you doing that? That's weird. That's rude. That's, you know, how people can get politically rude. Veronica, why are you yelling?
We're watching Monster Trucks. Xavier, will you please turn it down? I can hear me yelling.
That's you.
She's not worth it. No, just kidding. Just kidding. No.
I would think that we should just to clarify. In this scenario, it would be that they're trying to make them practice this new other religion.
To practice?
Yeah. So if you're Christian, they would try to be making them practicing Muslims or practicing Buddhists, or they would pick like a separate, like whatever religion.
Like to convert them?
I don't know. I guess take that as you will.
Well, I think anytime you're forced to convert somebody, that's not okay. But to learn, I mean.
So I want to explain a similar concept. It's kind of a little bit off course, but it is very relevant to what I'm saying. So my grandma is from Mexico City, and when she came to El Paso, she was in an educational system where whenever she spoke Spanish, the teachers frowned upon that. And almost got a little bit physically involved, you know, like old school, you know what I mean? And so, exactly. And so, the thing was, I'm not as strong a Spanish speaker as my parents are, because my grandma did not really speak Spanish to me growing up, because her mentality was, I don't want my grandson to go through that. What I would have.
That's straight up coastal stuff.
Well, in a way. So you can kind of maybe incorporate that to religion, where it can. We need to be more in an accepted circumstance of different religions. It's okay to practice Buddhism. It's okay to practice, all the other religions in an educational system. Even though Christianity is probably a lot of the dominant religions that are in our schools nowadays. I mean, we grew up, in a private school environment, but I think a lot of people who have different religions and coming into this educational system, I think there shouldn't be any kind of resistance towards that at all.
Wow, super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And a lot of people tell me nowadays, they're like, well, are you from El Paso? Well, how come you don't speak a lot of Spanish? Well, there's a story behind that. My grandma was 100% fluent in Spanish, but she chose not to speak Spanish. She told me not to speak Spanish growing up because she didn't want me to go. And who's to say that can't happen to someone practicing that certain religion? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's very interesting to think about.
And you're confident enough in your upbringing that it doesn't matter.
Well, see, now I think it's obviously very important to be bilingual, even trilingual nowadays. But we're kind of in a shifting gears where it's like it's very necessary to whatever skills you're going into, healthcare, education, etc. But back then it was very old school, where no, everyone's going to speak English because this is the right way, this is the right way, this is the right form of communication. That's can very well be interpreted to religion, and that's why I think it's a 10, because I don't see any prejudice on that. I don't think there should be any prejudice on that.
Interesting. I chose a 6 because
Mine only because I had my scale flip-flop. The juice was working a little.
Juice.
I have questions, and that's how come I didn't. But and I couldn't choose a 5, so I'm. Oh.
See, I elaborate too much, and now my head hurts.
You need an Advil or more juice.
You need some strawberry.
All right, try that one.
I had chosen.
Okay.
Nice ASMR right there.
Was it good?
Got some good nuts on that?
Ooh. I chose a 6 because if I'm working hard to implement something with my child, you see what I mean? That thing.
I kind of like this one more than the first.
See?
No,
It's all
It's good.
This is
like frozen strawberries in it.
This is our fruit intake for the day.
Yeah.
I like the way you think.
I'm a health professional. Just kidding.
So I chose a 6 because I think if I'm working hard with my kid to cultivate all of this other stuff, and then it depends. Like my question was, are they going to teach them about it, or are they going to make them do it? And then of course, well, you can answer that. So I think you're going to answer me. But can you
Answer them how, what do you mean?
ask the question?
Well, it's introducing a religion into school, but it is a religion that you're not a part of. So, for example, if you're Christian, they'd be introducing Islam, or vice versa. When you're Islamic, they'd be introducing Christianity. But I guess they'd be introducing it to practice, not just knowledge about it. You know what I mean? And so how
to practice it. And they're going to a public school.
These are scenarios again,
I
including
know,
some
but
changes.
so like if they're okay, if I'm going to send them to a school,
Or even
that's
are all maybe doing stuff away, but are all private schools have a religious affiliation, or can it be a private school that's still kind of secular and doesn't have. So let's say there was a private school.
Yeah, because those are like charter schools.
Yeah, and then they decide, you know what, let's try a religious aspect to it, and then they introduce one. Let's just go with this one. The principal is this, or the owner of the school is like a private school.
It's hard too, because like if you think about it, a lot of people who pay for a private school, if you're looking at like a Catholic private school, for example, or a Lutheran private school or something, parents already know that that's what they're going to be practicing. So even, I mean, there are a lot of people who don't believe in Catholicism, but still go to Catholic schools. There's a lot of people who don't believe in, you know, different aspects, but they go to these private schools because they like the education. They prefer the education.
They prefer the environment. They prefer the education. Yes.
Small classes, things like that.
That's super interesting. I've never met anybody like that.
There was one.
There's so many people that
there's someone that I knew that went to a Catholic school, and they were atheists.
Yeah.
They were straight up atheists.
Really?
Yes.
How do they go about like all the, I guess.
I think but that's where you.
I think there was. I think the thing is there was respect of them, like even though that person did not fully believe in Christ. Nothing he did was going to interrupt others from practicing that same faith that he did not believe in. I mean, it would be vice versa too. Like you can't say like, well, you know what, you better believe in Christ. Stand up and pray with us, or kneel and pray with us. That's his choice. But he's not.
Would they force him to do it?
No.
When was this? Like this actually happened?
Yes, in high school, for sure. There were so many that weren't necessarily
That's amazing.
Catholic, and all they do is respectfully, like during Mass, you kneel. They knelt to be respectful. But they, they would stand with their hands crossed. They would just respectfully stand there and listen and stuff like that.
There would be no means of disruption.
Yeah.
There would be no nuisance or disruption.
And parents pay for it, like because they want the education. They want the smaller classrooms. So that's like, for me, it's like if you're telling me, oh, they're going to start implementing Judaism or teaching my kids, okay, fine. Let them learn. Like let them be immersed. The only way you're ever going to truly learn about a culture or a religion is when you're fully immersed into it. How are you going to learn about it? How are you going to become more tolerant? Except to be immersed and understand why do you believe what you believe? Where does it come from? I mean,
I think you just changed my mind.
I know. I'm trying to like send in.
That's what we do.
About the people only learn through experience, and I think not people who don't.
So then, okay, so can
it's hard to fully grasp it.
I wasn't supposed to be a 6, I was supposed to be a 4.
Yeah, same. That's why I put mine.
Do you guys mind if I change it? Because then it'll change my outcome.
I'm sure you can do that in the editing. Oh, mine was a 2 the whole time. Mine was a 4.
It was 4. Because I wrote on the
And I forgot too, we were supposed to not discuss it till after, so we're just show them the numbers, and then so we'll do the second scenario and then show the numbers, and then we'll discuss it. It's been a long time. It's been a while since we've done one.
it's because you got sucked into the Veronica online zone.
And then Jesus has happened too. I'm trying to be calm.
Alright, scenario 2. So now let's say religion has been introduced into schools. Let's say, I don't know how long, let's say, I don't know, 5-10 years. Say it's been 5 or 10 years since religion has been introduced into schools, or at least like a sample set of schools. And this has now significantly reduced the number of school shootings. And people are wanting to know if this is like correlated to this. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to expand this religion in schools? To reduce school shootings. So 1 being against and 10 being for it.
So the question is, are we for it if it reduces school shootings?
Correct.
So 1 being absolutely not for it, and 10 being for it completely.
Correct.
Introducing and teaching a new religion.
No, not a new religion, just almost any religion.
Not
like like all the schools. That
not
have,
like Veronicaism.
Yeah.
Like a real religion.
It's not real.
No. This is Star Wars, girl. Let's just start.
I don't know. I mean,
that's why we get the looks, Veronica.
My hamster's drunk.
It's like tumbling in the little wheel.
The wheel is.
Alright, ready?
Wait.
No?
No.
You're not ready?
Ready.
What did you get for number 3? Oops.
Whoa.
8, 9. Alright. This one we were pretty close. It's not a rainbow. We're all over the place. Good, we'll come back to it. So here's this third scenario.
Did you write them down?
What was yours? Who was the 9?
it was 9, I was 8.
Okay. And the rest of us were 8.
The boys were 8,
I
the
wrote
girls
it
were 9.
down.
Oh, you were 9 too?
Yeah.
The boys were 8, girls were 9.
It's boys against girls.
Scenario 3. Religion will be introduced, but in a non-practicing way. But this will be like mostly all religions, or at least like top 5, but you will only learn them as facts and history, but not required to practice. On a scale of 1 to 10, are you for or against this?
I mean,
1 being against and 10 being for.
Do you have a bell pepper house on your placement?
Yes.
Did you see what hair looks like a butt climbing up the ladder?
A butt or something else?
Please. There's a butt.
Alright, ready?
No, it does not. It looks a whole different part of another anatomy.
1, 2, go.
What you thought the squash was with chickens.
I guess we know who didn't go to Catholic school.
Oh, so for the ones not watching the video, and our camera died, so we have to say our numbers out loud. I got an 8.
I got a 10.
10.
I got a 10.
11.
All right.
Sorry, it
So
must
now-
be the wine talking.
So
Or
now
not
we can
talking.
talk about it a little bit and some
Taco
questions.
Taco sounds so good.
You want
Now-
to do tacos tomorrow?
Tacos.
You guys have good taco places around?
Yeah, good tacos.
I can make that.
We can make
Alright.
tacos.
All right. I'm down for homemade tacos. All right. So questions to think about are: how easily are you able to change your opinions? How aware are you of your own biases when forming opinions? And so what's blocking your view? What is keeping you from changing your mind? So if you got 10, what's kind of keeping you from being the opposite, at being 0 or being a lower number or even a 9 or an 8?
Are we doing the second scenario?
This can be any of the scenarios. So this
Okay.
is just in general questions or
Okay. Well, I think. Did our baby? Is our baby awake? Oh. I guess I'll go with the second scenario, and I chose 8 because I don't. If I understood the question, that was kind of long, and I've been working, and I've had some wine, and my back hurts. And you two are just crazy. So, I mean, but from what I can get is that if the effectiveness of introducing new religions into school does any way affect the number of school shootings, would I be for it? So I'm guessing that's what it is. And I didn't do 10 because I don't think that's going to be the whole solution. And I'd have to go with a lot of government situations about gun control. That's what it comes down for me. Would religion help? Maybe. I mean, I don't think there's been any, at least I don't think so, any links to school shootings with religion. But I think it just all comes down to gun control for me. But I think it'd be a good thing to explore.
Anyone else?
I'm laughing at Anna because she's over here like eating him. She's eating you with her eyes. She look like you're playing the pink panther on the piano.
He won't remember that.
Well, I do remember playing the piano.
Rude.
It's the one song I know how to play, and I don't know how to play it anymore. But yeah.
No, I think like
if I knew that was it, I would have talked slower.
No, yeah, I think that's it.
I thought you were trying to like ridicule me. I was like, okay.
Oh no, she was like,
no.
If that's the look it takes, like if it takes you all to get here for her to look at me that way, come every week, please.
I'm re-invited.
You're always invited.
Almost kicking you out.
I know. I got in trouble with the cows.
Anyway,
I guess.
no, I think I don't know. Like I feel like it. Like, oh, it's him.
I don't know if that's him. Like,
sorry, we were checking for babies. Yeah, I don't think I didn't for the second one. I didn't put a full 10 either. I don't remember what I put. I think I put a 9 because I feel the same way. Like I don't think there's just one answer. I think, being a medical professional, I think there's a lot of mental health stuff that needs to be taken care of. But if there was like concrete evidence, because
what would count as concrete for you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like nurses always work or should always work on evidence-based practice. So if you were to show me an article that showed true evidence-based where scientists have studied it,
It's been peer reviewed.
Yeah, all of these things that show that a religion of any type can decrease the number of school shootings, I'm going to be for it. And I think for Adrian and I, we think about school shootings a little differently. School shooting is a school shooting, and I don't mean that in a non-important type of comment. What I mean by that is that the majority of your listeners have kids that run. We do not have a kid that runs. And so for us, we have a special needs daughter who, when scared, screams out, who, when scared, doesn't know what to do and how to self-regulate. And so as a mother, I sit here and think, oh gosh, if that's the day the nurse calls out, does my baby get out? Or is she a sitting duck, literally? That these are things that we think about.
For parents like us, there's another factor to think about.
It's not just, oh, we can do all these drills. Drills are great to help. I mean, I know because as a NICU nurse, we did drills after drills after drills after drills after drills to know how to save these babies, and they work. Drills work. But when you're talking about a special needs population who don't understand what the heck a drill is, and like in our daughter's case, you have 8 students to 1 teacher and 1 para. Who's going to get these kids out when they are having a true meltdown and a sensory meltdown at that, and they don't even know how to function, And our daughter, being somebody who cannot run, I mean, that's something we think about all the time, you know, when we hear about these shootings. It's like, well, everybody says, okay, we'll run out of the school. Well, my daughter doesn't know how to run. My daughter literally is a sitting duck. So for us, anything that can move us towards safer schools or better gun control or, you know, better mental health issue. You know, everybody wants to go, oh, it's mental health. Oh, it's religion. Oh, it's this. It encompasses everything, you know. And especially when you look at the statistics based on who these shooters are, you know. A lot of them are bullied. Well, where does bullying come from? It comes from not having tolerant attitudes towards each other. It comes from having hateful hearts. It comes from, you know, a place that is not beneficial, is not positive, you know. So if you are creating a space where you're teaching them not to be afraid of Muslims, not to be afraid of, you know, Iranians and other Middle Eastern because, oh, you know, September 11th happened. Well, we don't like to be generalized, so why are we going to generalize everybody else, you know? And so if you create a more positive environment, you decrease the number of bullying, you decrease the number of hate, you decrease the number of those feeling like outcasts, and you decreased the need for them to feel like I need to come and kill you because you hurt my feelings. Now, again, there are so many more factors that go into this. There's home lives, there's, you know, mental health, there's all this other stuff that you have to look at. There's no perfect.
I have a tiny bit off subject, but within the same thing that you're saying. Do you happen to know, since you read about this often, the statistics on how it used to be when we were children?
My friend's coming.
the amount of, you want to go sit?
Hi.
Yes, right here.
I missed you today.
The amount of, I guess, school shootings, or the amount of bullying, and are we allowed to say that other S word of ridding themselves?
There was a disclaimer at the front.
Self-hurt.
Okay, yeah, so self-harm, like
lethal
lethal
self-harm.
Lethal self-harm
Suicide.
of back in our day. We would get bullied and stuff, and it was like, all right, go kick their ass. Or it was like, all right, like, get some thicker skin, right? And like, we ended up with some pretty thick skin. And I'm wondering what has changed, or if the numbers say that it has changed. Do you know?
I don't know specific numbers, but I know that you're so cute.
The child joined us.
Yes.
With the videos
He's wearing
off, so.
ghosties. Careful. The spirits are watching us.
Oh, that's what you meant by you see a ghost.
Yeah, the ghosties.
Okay, I was like,
It's
okay.
all ghost pajamas.
Evie would love those. Let Evie see those.
Airplanes are going through. They flipped.
Hey.
Tomorrow you can show her.
Yeah.
I wanna
Okay.
see.
Laser child.
Hey.
He's my friend. You have to accept the interruption. Well, I don't know numbers, but I have read and I have seen studies show that one of the big differences between our days and today's childhood is social media.
Social media.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that in the old days, hey, we're not that old, right? In our days,
Yeah, that's better.
we wouldn't, you get bullied. I was never bullied, but I'm just saying, like, those who did get bullied. You know what? Drink
You
the
didn't
juice.
get bullied, then you were a bully.
No, I did get bullied. I can tell you one person who did. But the difference is that you went to school, you dealt with the bully, you came home, and there was reprieve.
Right.
You didn't have to worry about it. There was a safe spot for you to just breathe and take it in your day.
You didn't have to worry about something going viral.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Well, and there was no such thing, I think, as texting inappropriate pictures or inappropriate things that could get out and ruin your entire life.
That definitely happened later in high school.
Yeah, but then like you have Facebook, you had MySpace and things like that started popping up, and look, that gives our age. MySpace.
It got more intense.
They reminded me. Sal reminded me, so blame him. But of the Facebook, of the MySpace era, where you come home and then it's all over your Facebook page, your home screen and stuff like that, and you just can't get away from it. But again, I think that has to also do with the home life. How are you regulating your kids' stuff, and are you teaching them to cope versus are we just going to teach them,
Yes.
Just pray.
Pray
to God.
Well, like how you guys said, like, I don't think it's just the one thing. I do think, like, it's a symptom of something that's happening, and I think, I don't know, I guess in American culture we like to just treat symptoms instead of getting to the core.
We like to be reactive, not proactive.
It's gotten so bad. It has gotten so bad. I mean,
like that in medical care.
There's a guy who I worked with. I'm not kidding you. He's from Australia, and he went to school here for a few years, and he got married here. He had 2 kids here, and he was working at the university over here. And just one day, this was about 6 months ago, and he decided to move back to Australia. Who's playing footsies with me?
I think it's me.
Sorry, just kidding.
I was like, is it him? I don't even know.
Anna.
So, but anyway, about 6 months ago, he packed his whole family back up to Australia, and that's a pretty big move. And I asked him, I say, do you have a job lined up, and that kind of stuff? And his wife, he's like, no, we're just moving back. It's like everything good. And the first thing he said was, I'm scared for my kids. He's like, I'm like, really? He says, yeah, our governor has not done anything to advocate gun control, so I don't feel safe with my kids in school. So they left, and that's a big move.
Yeah,
really big move.
Our governor hasn't done anything. They have, like, it sounds funny in a sense that like other governors actually do stuff about it. Like,
I mean, overall, you think about it.
Yeah, I know. We're so used to the boiling frogs and.
But to think that, that is significant enough to move halfway around the world to your home country with no real job lined up, where you have 2 kids to take care of and a wife, because you're so timid about it.
Yeah.
You're so timid.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What was mine?
You were 9.
You were 9. The girls were 9s.
Oh, that's right.
Remember, it was boys against girls.
That's right.
He needs to be anointed.
Are you going to look at me again that way?
Hold on here, just for your ASMR viewer and pleasure.
Turn it.
Oh,
that adds
Sorry.
to the effect also.
As they do on the day.
Clink, clink.
I chose 9 because, again, if it is evidence-based and all of that good stuff, but I mean, any kind of positive move, step in the right direction, I think needs to happen. Our little one is about to go to school, and it's terrifying. He works in a school, and it terrifies me. Like, even though I know that things should be a certain way, all of this other stuff, it's uncertain. They provide such uncertainty every day to think that the people that you love the most won't come home. And I understand that might be an accident or whatever, but if it's at the hands of somebody else, oh, hell no. I can't imagine what a lot of these other people have felt that have been victims of or even, I'm saying anybody in that school, anybody that knows these people, like it's earth shattering. It's completely changing of your everything, you know? And so I think that any step in the right direction, I didn't put it as an absolute because I don't think that it's complete, right? I don't know, it's just opinion.
Yeah, and I guess still with the other questions to think about, how aware are you guys of your biases? Like, do you already know you usually tend to lean in one direction versus the other, and like what would be the arguments on the other side that you think maybe aren't valid, or like, does that make sense?
I think a lot of the arguments are, okay, let's give everybody a gun, and I just don't agree with that, you know. And they say, well, we can train them.
Well, let's say giving everyone a gun had the same effect as like it's reduced school shootings also in a span of 5 to 10 years.
But see, there's been studies on that too.
Yeah.
There's been studies on that they have not at all made any significant factors.
And I can give you an example that will.
And has there been studies on religion being added into schools and reducing it or not reducing it?
That I don't know. Only because.
But that's a great thing to explore.
This is what you told me we were doing today. First you told me parenting, and then you told me this. I didn't do my research
no,
before this.
And it's
because we got Adrian.
Yeah, that's who we
No. She can't put me on the spot like that and then be like, no, I'm just kidding.
I didn't study for this test.
No, I didn't study for this test, guys. No, I think, and I'll give you an example of what I tell people. You know, everyone's like, well, you can train and you can teach these people, teach the teachers how to do all of this stuff and train them and protect them, right? Let me give you an example. And it's an example I give to people because I've seen it happen. First of all, you can look up research situations where cops, military personnel, and whoever else does, you know, like combat situations, stuff like that, they are mentally prepared to draw a weapon. They are mentally prepared to be shot at. Mm-hmm. That is what they train them for, right? Because that's what they do. That is their job. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then the argument is, okay, well, let's train our teachers. Well, let's train whoever to hold a gun. I train parents all the time on how to do CPR to save their kid's life. And I can tell you...
A lot of that goes out the window.
A lot of it goes out the window when it is your own child. And when you are faced with that circumstance. Right. So here I am, a NICU nurse. We do drill after drill after drill after drill after drill to save these preemies, to do what we know what to do and to work as a team, right? The preemie comes in. We know exactly how to execute it. Why? That's my job. My job is to save your kid. My job is to do that. That is what I'm faced with on an everyday playing field, right? What you're asking is for the parents who don't do this on an everyday playing field to do what I'm trying to do as a nurse, who's trained as a nurse. So now you put that scenario to the teachers. Here, let's give them a gun. Let's train them how to use it. But they're not trained for combat. They're not trained mentally to be put in these positions.
Right.
And so here we are now, graduation day from NICU. Okay, guys, let me teach you how to do CPR on your kid, because there is a huge possibility that as preemies, you may need to do CPR one day, right? Okay, you teach them CPR, they come out, they pass their test. A few months later, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a call that said, oh, so-and-so didn't make it. Oh, so-and-so didn't do this. Well, how come? Well, mom panicked. Dad panicked. Jeez. You know, but we taught them, and I know, and this is speaking for myself. It's not like I'm tooting my own horn type thing, but I can teach these parents how to do a mean CPR. I can't teach them how to save their kid.
Yeah.
I can't teach them how to control their emotions when their kid is dying. And this is why I say this. Okay, so here I am, a very, very seasoned NICU nurse. I'm a seasoned NICU nurse. I've saved dozens of babies. It's what I do without effort. You know, like, it doesn't faze me. August 28th, my daughter needed resuscitation. And it is the first time he has ever said to me, I have never heard you panic like that. I knew what to do. I saved her. I did the resuscitation. But as a mother, to see the light go out of your child puts you in pure panic and fear mode. There is nothing that can prepare you for that. There is nothing that can prepare you for the feelings that overcome you of, holy shit, I may not be able to bring my own daughter back.
Well, I think you're talking about different scenarios there.
But the point I'm trying to make is, the argument is, here, let's put a gun in somebody's hand. Okay, and train them. Yeah. Again, I'm trained at CPR.
Yeah. And
I still panicked. I got it done because my body took the fight or flight response and I knew what to do. It was like muscle memory to me. You know what I mean?
But that's what you have had
but
to
that's
do
because
so
I've
often.
had to do it.
Right.
These parents who have never had to do it are now overcome with emotion. These teachers who have never had to do it are now overcome with fear and, oh my God, I have to protect these children because they are under my care, are now under this stress that they were not prepared for.
Right.
Not only that, but you've now put it in an unseasoned individual's hands, right? And even with cops, when they're faced with somebody that they're scared of, we know what has happened.
Look at Uvalde. They stand in the doorway and wait.
I mean, it wasn't not even with that one. That one was absurd. I don't understand that. I mean, there's video of it, right? But you have some of these people that will panic and they'll just shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where the study came in, and I want to say it was only 3%. I have to look at that again, but I could probably look at that up for your podcast. I think it's 3% where retaliation of having someone else, a good guy with a gun, actually saved this situation, and it's a very low percentage because there's so many factors that go into it. There's panic, there's all kinds of factors.
But it's
security.
But like, if you're bringing it back to religion, I also think, like, okay, you have to also remember, one of the biggest things people say is, well, don't panic. Well, don't do this, don't do that. But you're asking these people not to be human. It is a human emotion to go into a fight or flight response. It is a human emotion. Like, you can't...
Don't panic. Like,
it's like, don't panic.
Why did I think of that?
You know, like, you can't tell somebody. It is a true inclination, and you don't even know somebody else's history. You don't know their trauma history. You don't know if they're fight or flight, if they're in a constant fight or flight and so they can handle it, or if they're in a constant fight or flight and they just buckle down. Like, you don't know what the circumstances are. Mm-hmm. You know, these people aren't prepared. But if you're looking at religion in schools to help with this, I am a true believer that, I mean, I am a I don't want to say hardcore Catholic, but I feel like I'm a really good practicing Catholic. And I personally, especially this last Lent season for myself, have done some massive soul searching and feel like I have truly, truly reconnected with my faith. But doing so, I have always felt that when you have a higher power, no matter what the higher power is, that can help alleviate so much stress. And studies have shown, and again, I was not prepared with my research, but there are studies that show that having a religion and having a higher power helps to diminish some of that stress. You look at a lot of these psych books, and they tell you, having something to believe in, having something to pray for, having something to just lean on, whatever the entity may be, provides so much benefit for mental health. and so much benefit for the person, because these people don't feel alone. It's harder to do something when you feel like you are absolutely alone, which is how we come to these kids who are, I'm bullied, there's nothing else I can do except I'm going to go and shoot them all, right? People who have a higher power, like whoever it is, I need help. Help me out. What do I do? Where do I turn to? What, what am I supposed to do? And usually, more times than not, and it's not perfect, you have those people who are a little bit more able to kind of self-regulate their emotions, because it's just something else to lean on.
See, this got really serious, right? Anna was saying that a lot of the podcasts are extremely serious.
I know.
Her homework, and then all of a sudden she's the one that took it there, and now we're all depressed.
So sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No,
We were being silly. Y'all have to take it to another level.
they asked the question. Think about yourselves, okay?
Yeah.
You better get yourself right with God like I did. Just kidding.
I asked Anna, I'm gonna throw this in the podcast. I asked Anna, like, how do you do it? Like, they're legit angels, these guys that we're talking to. And she says, I'm right with God. And coffee.
I'm right with God and coffee. That's right.
And wine.
And Jesus juice.
Jesus juice. That's part of the God one.
See, that's why I'm Catholic. Everybody's like, why are you Catholic? And I go, because Catholicism lets you drink and party. Like, come on now.
They give you free wine every Sunday. I mean,
I don't drink
free
that.
samples.
Yeah. Can't taste this.
you're all, hey, so what's on the menu? Most got tilted.
What you got in there? See that
Again?
boxed rosé?
Same thing again? Like, didn't you have this last week?
Again. Huh?
It's like the same thing again. Didn't you have this last week?
Yeah. God, when are you gonna?
Give variety.
Want something a little sweeter. This is a little dry, sir.
Yeah,
And so I guess
I'm sorry.
ultimately, I guess what's blocking your guys' view? What is keeping you from changing your mind?
My husband told me not to. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Change your mind on?
Yeah, on what? On what exactly?
On these topics, or like if you're more for religion in schools, then what is keeping you from being against religion in schools?
Honestly, we'll see. I want to get all these haters on me now.
Sorry, all 6
So,
listeners are just kidding.
All 6 listeners, so we'll fight them off. Don't worry, he's good.
You know
at
what
it.
it is? Honestly, it's that our government has gone to shit, and everybody,
Like, gasp.
feels like Christianity's the only religion. What? It's not. Like, there's so many things out there that fit so many other people, and as long as there's some
She's
positive,
like, could you just get something, please?
I don't just
Get something to believe in.
for real.
Even
just,
if it's Jesus juice that you believe
I
in.
don't care what you believe in. Just no, I do.
What do they serve it for lunch? Just kidding.
Yeah. Serve me Jesus' leg. I'm a leg person. I'm a leg girl. I'm just kidding. No, but I just the thing I think that stops me is that
Chicken wings.
look at where our government has gone. Don't put these books out. Don't put those books out. Don't put these books out. People are so intimidated by a book. It's like, okay, I get you don't want to let your children read certain things. That's your right as a parent. That's cool. But don't dictate what I'm going to do with my kids. Like, if I want my kid to know what a homosexual relationship is, let me do it. And that's cool. I'll do it in my own home. That's, whatever. Just like I'm going to teach my girls how to be Catholic in our home. And if they're going to teach them how to be Muslim in school, then they're going to teach them how to be Muslim in school. But we're going to raise them to do this. As I just want my girls and my son to know that there's more out there than just what they see at home. And that there are more human beings that come from a wide variety of He's eating cake and he didn't even offer it.
Yes.
That is not an ASMR appropriate sound.
We're talking about.
You better chew it in the mic. Like the girl's favorite candy girl. No, but I think that's what it is. It's like, I know that it's like if you allow an inch.
Yeah, give an inch,
They
take a mile.
Yeah.
A mile.
It's like,
Yeah, let's polish this off.
no, wait, you have to do it right. You have to go.
Oh God, no,
Wait,
it's gonna be super loud.
Shh, shh, shh. Watch. Quiet. Watch.
Thank you.
No, we're kidding.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, she's.
Does that have sound? It does.
You gotta absorb that Jesus juice. This is the body and blood of Christ. Nobody said Jesus wasn't chocolate. Everybody makes him blonde and
chocolate.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody
That's
makes
very
him
true.
blonde and blue-eyed.
Oh,
Now
no.
taste the true Jesus.
Damn it. Wait, cut that and I like that. I want
Just-
that chunk. I want that chunk. That was mine. See, she did it. This is what you had for breakfast, huh? Ew, I didn't eat that.
My mom.
Nice.
We're here to please everybody. See? We're people pleasers.
I guess my, I don't know if this will give me away, I guess. But I used to be more
Oh, that's good.
against it. I guess basically because of the whole kind of freedom of religion or whatever. Like just kind of keeping religion and state separate or whatever.
The separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm with
so,
you.
but something I do done appropriately, I think it could have positive impacts, and I guess that's the part that I'm having issues with, is that I don't think people could implement it in the way that I would want. That
Chocolate and
and
berries.
like you said, like the way our government is right now, like I don't trust
like-
that they could do it in a
Well, and that's the thing, is that it's like it has to be one extreme or the other, and it's like,
Yeah.
why? Why can't we just be okay in the
Find
middle?
the gray part.
Mhm.
What?
Then you should try to come up with these scenarios like this to see what some of the more common issues would be. And I think when people say, I want religion in schools, especially in the U.S., they mean they want Christianity in schools.
Yeah, for sure.
They're in a certain way, also.
Yeah, and right. Again, it's going to be a certain denomination maybe of Christianity, and so I think they have to pick their words carefully too. Like, just say you want Christianity in schools. Don't try to don't try
Like,
to
own it.
beat around the bush. Yeah,
That's
right.
the thing, own it. Like, what do you really want?
Yeah. What
You know?
what is your goal in this? Like, what is the end outcome in this? Like, could there be benefits? Yeah, I think so. Done in the right way,
Well,
yes.
sure.
But the way some of them are doing it, like,
It's like plastic surgery. Plastic surgery is a great thing. You know, if you really think about it. Plastic surgery helps so many women, like with breast cancer, who they go and they have these breast implants done after all this treatment to help them recover, and that's a great thing. Plastic surgery has a great way of fixing faces after accidents, arms after accidents, all these things, right? But you take it to the extreme to look like a cat lady, and it's not so good. You know? I mean,
subjectively.
well, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, don't look like a cat. I'm not a cat person. If you're gonna do it, look like a dog. No, I'm just kidding.
That's probably why they're trying to look like a cat. They already look like a dog. I'm just kidding. I'm just being judgy. I don't even know.
That was extremely judgy.
That was extremely judgy.
But that's okay.
How unchristian. Cat.
Yeah, no.
Thank you. Eat it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Into the mic.
Camera's off though. So, next question.
Okay, Beto.
The
That's
camera's
what I did.
off? How long has the camera been off?
I don't know, but he said
Since
the camera's
before
off.
you cheered to it. You cheered to it earlier.
My battery, I used it all up at the air show and I forgot to recharge it.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. She made me go in my jammies, so I'm glad you did.
I was doing jammy. You had a jammy too.
What did that chicken say again?
However, enjoy that.
They say wakala.
Is that a Sapology cup?
No.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Amazon.
Azamon.
It had a handle, but I have 4 kids, so the handle didn't survive.
Oh.
Kept getting the shit out of it. Bang. Bang.
Dang.
But it still works.
Okay.
Still hold stuff.
What does your cup do? Hold stuff in it? Mine do?
So, I don't really have much that we can go back to the scenarios, but I would just kind of like to
I don't know.
maybe...
I think you all changed our mind.
I'll reveal
We're not
that...
used to this.
Yeah, I'll reveal that I'm the one that did not go to Catholic school. I'd like to know what your guys'
Just kidding.
I think it
How
was
dare
kinda-
you insult these poor parents that couldn't afford $600 a month.
And then actually, on the way over
It's
here...
cheaper than daycare, though.
On the way over here...
Then what?
Daycare.
Daycare.
Oh, I heard. I don't know what I heard.
I know what you thought you heard. Some grotesque, I don't know.
What did I hear? I don't know. I don't know what it was. Nick hair. Dick
Yeah,
hair?
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Nick.
Oh, dick hair. Anna.
That's a free service.
Sorry that your back is hurting, buddy. She'll fix it.
If only.
On the way over here, we're listening to this other podcast, and they were talking about how I think somebody did have... Well, there was like 2 little girls playing, and kind of the scenario you mentioned that like kids will be kids unless they're kind of taught a certain way. And so one of them was a practicing Christian, and the other one wasn't. And what the little girl that practices told the other one.
We're both trying to attack the same bug.
Good. Continue with the children.
Yeah, so the practicing little girl tells the other one, I don't know if it was something that she couldn't hang out with her anymore, or she just told her, it's like, oh, you're gonna go to hell, right? Because you don't believe in God or something like that. And so yeah, and so I could see some of those scenarios happening, because I don't think people can like separate that still, that if they're
here's
practicing
my thing.
versus not, like...
I never understood. I just have never understood how somebody else on this planet could tell me that I'm going to hell when they know nothing about me. Just like, how could I tell somebody they're going to hell when I know nothing about them? I don't know their whole story. I don't know. The whole point of Christianity, by the way, Christianity stemmed from Catholicism. So when I'm talking about this, all the Christians understand that it stemmed from Catholicism based on the fact that whoever, the Lutherans didn't like all of what Catholicism had to do. The Baptists didn't like what Lutheran and, all the branches had to do. But the truth is, when you come back to it, no matter what Bible you read, every single one says that God is the judge of our souls. And I'm not sure who named all these people God to be able to judge everything that went down and everything that goes down in this place. You know what I mean? In this world.
It's just a human nature thing that, like, you
and
can't
that's fine.
Help separate. Again, I think there's a separation there that should stay separate, and people can't separate
and it's
it.
fine to understand human nature, but if you're talking about true faith and true understanding and true, like, it's one thing to say God wants us to go out, and Jesus wanted us to go out and be disciples and teach his words and to help people understand and bring them back to Christ and understand that God loves him and that he died on the cross for us. And he did all of this knowing that as human beings we're going to make mistakes. He did all of this knowing that we're still not going to be perfect. But he didn't go on the cross and be like, oh, well, Joe Schmo over there, he can go and judge. Well, Miss Jane over there, you can judge whoever you want. So people need to remember that while you can have a strong faith and you can be committed in your own faith, not everybody is at your level, whether they're Christian or not. They may not be at your level. And again, you don't know their stories. Maybe they were one of the ones that were, you talk about the priests, but people talk about the priests all the time. Maybe they're one of the victims. You don't know. You do not know what is in somebody's heart. And to sit there and be so judgy and to take things to a truly dramatic, right side, left side, whatever, extreme, you can't do that and call yourself Christian. You cannot be hateful and call yourself a Christian. You can't. And if you do, you are not a true Christian. You are not following in what the faith teaches us, which is to love one another, to show them the true ways of Christ, which is through love, not hate.
Right. I think, I was just thinking about this the other day, that usually it seems like politically it's more the right that are Christians, but I know there's got to be Christians on the left.
Biden's a Catholic.
That's right. And so, how come that can't be the common ground, and it's still kind of, this is the hill I'm going to die on, it's our way or the highway type deal, you either do it our way, the right wing way, or it's incorrect.
It's a power struggle.
Yeah, and I don't understand why. It's almost like we all want the same end goal, but it's still more about the method of doing it rather than the way of getting the outcome.
I can only use myself as an example. Do I go to church every Sunday? No. I'm a heathen, But did I say at the beginning that I was a good Catholic? Yes, and I truly believe that. And there are going to be tons of Catholics out there that disagree with me, and there's going to be tons of Christians that disagree with me.
Oh, yeah.
But they hear you don't go to mass, you don't celebrate Christ, you don't go and you give him faith. I look at it as, you're right. I may not go every Sunday. Well, I also truly believe that the reason we have our twins was because I was called to take those twins. That my husband and I were truly called by God to take those twins. And one of them, being medical needs, isn't always capable of going to church on a Sunday. She's sick. I have to think about what's going around, flu, RSV, because she does end up in the hospital. So it's okay, so do I become a quote-unquote good Christian, a good Catholic, and still go? Or do I risk my child's health? Or do I sit here and say, you know what, I'm going to accept God's call to take in these kids and do my absolute best that I can to protect her from everything going on and use my best judgment to make sure that she stays safe.
And I think, I don't know if that's two things here. One is, we were just talking about this the other day, that pretty much internet comments are essentially they're making fun of you for something. That means I'm better than you because I don't do that one thing that I'm pointing out about you. And so it's like, I don't know if it's just like an uplifting thing for yourself that like, oh, I'm better than this person because I do that, and and you don't do that. So like, and then the second thing like is, how do you, or with different religions, you're saying that like all the religions or Christian religions stemmed off from Catholicism.
Not all religions.
Well, okay, no.
Not like Muslim.
Christian.
Somebody coughed or sneezed, and it sounded like one of your kids.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So
Adrian's leaving. For all those who can't see us.
So if Christian religion stemmed off from Catholicism, and now all these subdivisions think they're the true one, like how do you reconcile those things? Like those, everyone's doing it for their own reasons within their own subdivision of Christianity. So then how do we reconcile all this, like getting back on the same track, like for the same end goal, and like leaving, I don't know, like the methods that you want to use?
I think that we have to put our own pride down. I think we have to put our own. It's all about pride. It's about do you want to be right in a conversation, in an argument, or do you want to do what's right and what's for the best of the people?
That's exactly what we just read in a book, Mere Christianity. Was a baby okay?
Yeah, he's bitching though.
But it's just one of those like.
Should we bring it down?
It's just like one of those like.
Y'all should bring it down. I'm just chilling here.
You know, am I so caught up in being a right doer and being right in an argument, or can I put my pride down enough to say, you know what? I'm willing to listen to the other person's side. I'm willing to listen to, even if I don't agree with the other person, but I'm willing to put my pride down to say, okay, I can see where you're coming from. I don't agree with it, but I can see that. And at the end of the day, if you can find the common ground like you were talking about, you know, like, okay, I don't agree with, I don't know. I don't agree with how the gun issues being you know,
handled or lack thereof handling.
But I think that if we all sat down, take that issue out for a second, we could all agree that at the end of the day, no matter what the side is, we can agree that we just want our kids to be safe.
Yeah.
You know, and if we can start small and be like, we agree, we want our kids to be safe. Okay. Well, I don't agree with how you want to do it, and I don't agree with how you want to do it. But if we could just start a conversation without the violence, without the pride, without the having to be right all the time, we could make a small stride forward.
Right. And like, I've told her, it's like nobody wants to compromise anymore. It's like just my way or no way. Like, I'd rather children keep dying because they don't do it my way. Like,
but any relationship, if you look at any relationship of husband and wife, of kids, of mother and daughter, son and daughter, or son and daughter, son and mother, whoever, any relationship is about compromise.
Right.
You know, because, and I'm not saying to compromise your morals. What I'm saying is we have to look at the greater good for the community, not what you think the greater good is. What is the greater good? Is the greater good that our kids are safe, or is it they have to be safe because they have to have a gun in their hand?
Yeah, or they have to be safe.
The greater good is we
Christian.
Need our kids safe.
Yeah.
You know, we need them to be able to be, you know, productive little human beings in life. We need them to be able to handle life without quivering and without being afraid and without, you know, dropping because, or throwing a tantrum because somebody doesn't agree with you.
Right.
And that's all that you hear on the news. Like,
that's if we had done the parenting one, that was going to be one I brought up. Is that I think one thing with parenting right now is that they think their kids shouldn't have any sort of negative feelings, I guess, or like I don't know. There's a
You're
better
wrong
word.
because you're a child.
That too.
You know, it's like, no.
Yeah.
They don't have... People forget that kids are just little adults. They forget that they're just little human beings.
Or even that adults are big children sometimes.
Yes. And they forget, you know, like, they're like, I don't understand why they're throwing a fit. And I don't understand this. It's like, guys, you're throwing a fit on Congress. You guys are getting ready... 2 congressmen are getting ready to punch each other. When we just told our children, please don't hit each other.
Yeah.
Like, let's get real.
But miss.
And the truth is, the difference is that our children are young and don't know how to regulate those emotions.
Right.
Whereas an adult, you have every understanding on how to regulate it if you were trained properly. And if you weren't trained properly, at the age of 18, you become the adult and you can decide how you want to live. And if you're going to decide to punch everybody out because you don't agree with them, then you're going to be a sad, lonely little person.
There has to be consequences to your actions, just like you put a child in timeout.
Right, like, and some of the stuff you were saying earlier, like, it's been, and other stuff we've been seeing and realizing is how much practice we need at everything to be good at, even like how you were saying about the practicing CPR or whatever, or like giving everyone a gun. Even if, like you said, how teachers, you give them a gun and you give cops and whatever a gun. Yeah, even a cop and military people have like 100 more reps. Even though they get nervous, they still have 100 more reps under their belt than a teacher is. And without that practice, it's still going to be like nothing. Like,
because how many times have you had a fire drill and no fire?
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy sometimes. The kids will freak out, like, is this a real one or whatever? It's like, I was like, honestly, the whole point of the drill is so that you almost can't tell the difference. Like, you act the same way whether it's real or not, and just kind of deal with it. And if you kind of, I think that is a good, like, you take that emotion out of it, like, this is real. I forgot to go over the rules. Rule number 1:
no burping.
No burping into the microphone.
I didn't bite.
Words.
I didn't burp into the mic. It was very far away, but I still hear it. Sorry.
Yeah. And, I don't know. I lost my train of thought a little bit.
I'm so sorry.
Good job, Rhonda.
I have a way of distracting him. I'm just kidding.
We're learning that about each other and our husbands.
Burps do it.
Burps do it. That's his thing.
Ooh.
Grape soda.
So your experiences as going to religious school, are you guys planning on putting your kids in a
We have one in a Catholic school.
Oh. I was like, what are you looking at me for? I have to talk to my husband about this. No.
Because now this one's split. I didn't go and she did, and so I don't know if it's...
So, before we had him, I had wanted our future child to be in a private school. And then, honestly, what dissuaded me was the people that they were hiring to be teachers at the private schools. We got lucky.
Yeah, we did.
I think we had a really great bunch of teachers. Then now knowing that some of them are actually trying to be teachers at private schools because they can't be teachers at public schools because they can't pass their tests, or they can't, they've actually had like felonies. I just think that it's kind of interesting. I'm like, why do I want that kind of teacher? So no. I think that it's also up to the parent, and you can see how you can parent and incorporate religion into your, or belief system, whatever you're gonna say about to your child, and it's mainly up to you. Then you can try that out, and we'll try that out and see how it goes for us. And then if we don't like it and we think that he needs to be more bombarded with it, then we can try that. And I don't know.
Well, I know we did it because we didn't want to pay daycare prices. And she needed to be in school. Like, Evie had to be in school because she's just too smart for her own britches. And I learned a long time ago, this is a kudos to you as a teacher, I cannot be a teacher. When I had to help with Natalie in homeschooling in pre-K, I was like, oh my God, kill me now. Because that was the year I decided I wanted to be cremated. Because I decided when I die, I do not want to have any chance of being woken up. I want to be ashes. And you cannot wake up ashes. So.
Unless you're a phoenix.
Oh, God. Lord. No, just kidding. No, but, no, I cannot be a teacher. And so.
You haven't been this leany on me in a long time.
I can't like sit up. Leany.
2 bottles of wine.
We're educated. We're leany.
I'm serious.
I'm sorry.
He's loving this podcast.
You're so pretty. But like we did it too because one they offered like Tuesday, Thursdays, but she's gonna go to public school. Like, and I think it's like anything else. It starts at home. You know, if you're gonna be those parents that don't care what your kids watch, if you don't take all that into consideration, then you sometimes can have a hot little mess on your hands. But, I mean, even with the girls going to, you know, religious formation, we're still having to teach them about the first Holy Communion and reconciliation, being teachers that I don't want to be. But, you know, I don't know. For me, I look at it as that's my momly duty. And he's here to support this family. You know? He prays a lot because he has to put up with me. And that's really why we don't go to church every Sunday is because God himself came to me in a dream and said, stop talking to me. You talk to me too much during the week. Stop it. It's a day of rest. Let me rest.
I'm going to be talking to everybody else.
Yes.
Keep your prayers to yourself.
Yes.
Save them for Monday.
And if it's a day that I fought him for my child, he's already mad at me going, wow, lost this battle again.
So it's all that training.
So I don't know if you answered or not.
Yeah, no. I said no.
Oh. Okay.
You?
I'd prefer not. Mostly because, I don't know, again, kind of that same way, like, I don't know, they could do it in a way that I'd be okay with it. And I guess I know, like, they're the actual practicing ones that they should know better, but there's also that playground scenario, like, what if he were to say something like that to somebody else, like, oh, you're going to go to hell because that's what I learned, that you're going to go to hell because you don't practice. And I would be like,
I think
we're not returning to that school tomorrow.
One of the things I didn't like about it is the guilt that we felt. As, like, it wasn't until we became adults and were able to discern that information.
Well, you're making me take the kids in 5 hours.
I know, go to sleep.
So.
I'll keep going. Go to sleep.
I don't want to ruin his editing.
You won't.
Oh,
just slowly
I might say
get
something
you go.
pristine
You
later.
say, oh, no, do it now.
Do it now.
What?
Say your final. This is Adrian's final bow. There you go. That's just pretty good.
You can do it in a cool accent if you want.
In a cool accent? What accent should I do?
I don't know. Do something theatrical. This will be fun.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. She's like, the wine was working. The wine was working. Just kidding.
See, that's what I'm used to seeing.
Do the low voice again.
Uh-oh. Say something smart quick.
Sounds sick.
If I die, pretend I said something deep and clever.
Oh, that one opened her eyes real quick. Ooh.
This has been a lot of fun. I hope you get some good stuff out of my sound bites. I know there's definitely plenty coming from here.
You gave me wine. What did you expect? I told you I get chatty.
I gave you no such thing.
I snorted.
We can close it out already if you want. We're going to do all our final numbers. Or do you?
Okay.
Or did you want to keep going?
All I was just gonna say is because that she's making me get up in a few hours to
He's
take
gonna
my
go to
twins
bed.
to school because I've never been part of a school where 7:30 in the morning is the start time for school. That's another.
Wow.
Same. Wow, that's how I am.
They start at 7:30.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
Well,
Mine
7:35, and we have to be there at 7:30.
5
Wait,
minutes
but what
before
time
the
does
kids?
school start?
Yeah, 7:35.
So kids are there at 7:30.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it was always 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
At least.
I don't remember. I was always late to school.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Like, I don't know how they keep trying to extend days and take him out of this and take him out of that. Like, is this all working? And if you're adding 25% more of the day or whatever, are you getting 25% results that you wanted, or does the input equal the outcome that you wanted? I don't. But whatever.
What do you
What
know?
do we
Nobody
lowly
asks
people on the totem pole?
Or the teachers. All they ask is, "Are you okay with this book that we read to them?" There's 2 dads, not just one. That's what they care about.
They're like, no, ban it. Ban that book. What kind of brilliance are you going to share with us, Adrian?
You said that all theatrical though. Like
Ban that.
Ban that book. Ban it good. Ban that book.
We're turning into a burlesque.
Over here slapping.
Bad book, bad book.
Bad book.
My head is honestly throbbing right now. But
Still didn't take Advils.
I know he didn't take the ibuprofen.
see, where is this cariñosa coming from? This is not you at all.
It's porch swing.
No, I told you.
Gonna
Like,
come home with
when she tells you
Ooh,
all those
look,
things
sun
about, when
soaked.
she tells you all those things about, like, well, he didn't notice me, and da, 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 you know. And now I notice her all these years, and she's like, "Get the hell away from me."
It's because I unlock boxes that are trapped in our hands.
I guess so.
So does strawberry.
Well, if this opens her
Moscato.
up more, please come over more.
You just gotta buy those bottles more.
That's it.
Grape juice.
You saying Jews?
Grape
Juice.
just clarify.
Juice. Hugo.
On that note, there's the fur babies still have not eaten, so you know. So you know,
They
since
stopped clawing at the door.
They fell asleep. They ate each other.
no more strength. At first, I was like, "Come on, I'm hungry," and then several hours later,
Yeah. I missed the door. Adrian, give us your final numbers. So let's see if you changed any. All of us. Go. Scenario
Yeah.
1.
Everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So scenario 1 was about introducing religion.
A religion that is not your own.
Yeah, religion that is not your own. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how okay would you be with this? 1 being not okay and 10 being definitely okay.
are you coloring in the eclipse?
Total eclipse of the heart.
There's a cooler song about eclipses.
There is. Pink Floyd.
Yes.
Every now and then I fall apart. Turn around, bright eyes. Phew.
I don't think any of us are bright-eyed right now.
No, I'm definitely not bright-eyed. I think I might be a little dilated.
I have. Are we ready?
Yeah. Are we
Are you
ready?
done painting?
Mhm.
1, 2, 3. I
have a 6.
changed. I have a 6, and there's still 10s.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a 4. Oh shit! Y'all changed Sal a lot.
I was at a
He was
2.
a 2.
It's like the newlywed game.
I liked your immersion thing. I think that is. I always say that people learn best through experience. You can tell them all you want about it, but unless they actually go through it, then they're like, oh, now I get it. Now I get why you did this. Like, yeah.
I thought you were in an arm fart.
Arm fart?
I'm fart.
Well, it's true though. Like, I can't tell you how many times.
I was like, okay, she wants some more of this.
I'm scratching my back.
And I guess one of my arguments for or against religion, take it how you want, is like when people, I guess, feel threatened that, like, what if they start believing this religion more than like our own religion or whatever? It's like,
yeah, I think
if you truly believe in your
helped.
religion, you should have kind of no fear about it. It should come out on top anyways.
It's pride.
Do the next numbers, because we're trying to get Adrian to go to bed.
You don't gotta wait on me.
But I want to know
We need
the
to know
numbers.
your numbers.
Okay.
Then scenario 2 is about the school shooting one. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to be for or against it? 1 being against and 10 being for.
Hurry! Don't influence him. Close your cards. Just kidding. 6998.
6998.
Too soon.
666.
Which one was? Wait, who was 6? Yours was 6?
I was 6. Yeah.
99.
So yours
I changed.
went down.
Mine went down.
You guys stayed the same. I stayed the same. So only how come yours changed?
I just think, like I
He's
said,
closed-minded. Just kidding. Just
I
kidding.
think that the religion is just not a big enough factor.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that. I think it could be a significant factor, but I just don't think it's a high enough factor. And I think with 8 last time I went too high, and after like digesting what everyone was saying, I was like, you know what? No, I don't. I think it's actually a little lower than that.
Good.
That's why.
So Kaizen. Something happened. It's, change in small increments or improvements in small increments. Scenario 3. Religion will be introduced in a non-practicing way. You will learn facts about all or most religions, facts, history, but not required to practice. On a scale of 1 to 10, are you for or against this? 1 being against, 10 being for.
It's my mind working.
Still 10s?
It's my.
Man, you guys are all or nothing.
That's right.
People.
Oh my
10,
God.
9.
That's right. We are. So
and
be
10.
careful.
Yours changed a little bit. Why does yours change?
Beto.
This 10 is just too absolute. It's 200% there, and I need more information.
Good.
That's why I put a 9 for the second one. Is because I don't think it's gonna fix it all, and I don't think it's a perfect fix. But
I like that last one just because I think learning it in an academic way is still better than nothing, and it's not like
well, it's interesting.
forcing it on like
I think we found the bug.
everyone or whatever. And I've always been curious about more historical parts of religion, even like Jesus, more like the historical and
Yeah, it's interesting.
yeah.
We need to let him go to bed.
Go.
Yeah.
Go to
Look at
bed.
he even has marker on his arms. How did you get marker on your arms? Go like that. Other.
Right here, you have it.
I do.
You got chocolate.
Look, let me
cake.
show you what. Right here, you have more.
Oh my god. It's when you fell asleep a little bit and then she drew on your face.
Look,
He's not.
You might
the
just.
eyebrow.
Good night.
Good night.
Oops, not yet. He's gonna go feed dogs.
We love you. We love you lots.
She's holding bottles. We love you.
We love
Nice.
Ching ching. Ching.
It's the stupid shit that we were doing get in trouble.
Only this time we're adults.
Yeah.
So we don't get in trouble
So.
Till my mom hears this and she's like,
anymore.
just kidding.
No, you said all the right things.
Yeah, you did.
I'm not too worried
Should be
about what.
our 7th listener. Just kidding.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
The 6 are in here.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, you're not.
I listen. I go, that's my friend. I know her.
Oh. And then you're like, ooh, why'd you say that? Ooh, why'd you say that?
You turned southern.
Mm-hmm. I know her. Bless her heart.
Bless her heart. She needs to find some Jesus.
She needs to get some right with God here. See? The high power. Just kidding.
I
Did
can't
you
even.
guys say how you guys know each other? I don't know if you guys mentioned it at the beginning or maybe.
From private school.
Yeah, but how long ago?
Oh,
I couldn't say it.
Okay, wait. When did we first do that?
Do the year
shit.
or say how
Here we
long
go.
ago?
Here we go with Anna
No,
and
say
her
the
first
year.
meeting.
No. I'm saying what grade. Like the grade. You
Say
don't have
what-
to say the
No,
total
we're not
years.
gonna
Say what year?
No, I'm saying the grade. What grade were
Well,
we?
you both are telling me opposing information.
Say the year. Just kidding.
First say the grade.
We met in first grade.
First grade. And it's so trippy because our kids are now meeting each other around the same time.
30 years ago.
When we're
Yeah.
60, our kids are going to be best friends.
Hopefully.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be crazy. They're gonna what are they gonna be pen pals because you live far?
You could always move closer.
Oh, there are bugs here.
There's bugs in El Paso.
But you got spiders over here.
Big
It's called
ones.
Orkin and pest control.
I love our pest control.
We're
Shout out
just
to my
due-
cousin. I'm just kidding.
We're just due for pest control right now. That's why you saw the spiders.
He was probably dead.
No, he jumped earlier. I watched him.
And you know what? Oh, there's a car. You see that? I saw lights.
Oh
And
yeah, they're like right up.
I know.
It's because we've been talking about Jesus and he's coming to visit us, guys. See what happens when you
'Cause of
turn
the
right with
eclipse.
God.
It's because of the eclipse.
Tomorrow.
What eclipses
clouds.
our views?
Come on, clouds.
Oh, tell me that. I'm going to just
What?
words. What eclipses your views? What is one thing that you find that blocks your, like, your goodness?
Huh?
Yeah. So
My
like,
goodness?
Your goodness. So like something that you're like, ugh, I know that this is the right thing,
like-
but this is frustrating.
And you probably like wouldn't do it. Like you know the right thing to do is, but you're gonna opt to do the wrong thing anyway.
I really want cheese.
Is that yours? Just kidding.
Cheesecake.
No, just cheese.
But cheesecake would be better.
No, I had too much sweet. I want cheese. I'm a salty person.
She is salty when you get to know her.
I am.
Just kidding.
Super.
What stops me from doing good? Okay.
Not necessarily what's not, but like I guess what's probably a bad habit you have that is hard
What
to break.
eclipses
Yeah.
your views? Like, what is something that you're like very steadfast on, and you're like, oh.
What's stopping you from
to do
seeing the
this.
light?
Like Jesus is like. Okay. I'll tell you. It's kind of a catch-22 though, because the intention is good. Like, because I don't think I'm malicious. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really don't feel like I'm a malicious person. I can't be malicious. I mean, for real, the truth, I insulted somebody, and then I went back and sent an email saying, I'm so sorry, because I know that was so wrong. But I wasn't sorry about, like, my thoughts behind it. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
But I just,
It's just
I think,
you felt bad about the way you said it, or no?
No. I felt bad for what I said. Because it just wasn't nice. But, you know what it is? I think my emotion gets the best of me when I care about somebody. So, like, when it comes to my kids, and when it comes to people that I'm really good friends with and stuff like that, if I feel like they're being hurt or taken advantage of, I'm going to say something. And most people are like, well, that's none of your business and stuff like that. And I get that. But I call it pride, call it whatever you want to call it. I never want to be that friend. Ever. Or mother. Or wife. That didn't say something. And what do I mean? I mean, like, I don't want to be that friend where they come back and be like, well, why didn't anybody tell me this was so bad? Why didn't anybody tell me this is not working? I would rather...
So if, like, someone's in an abusive relationship or something.
I would rather them hate me in the moment than them come back and be like...
smacking yourself on the mic. Rule number 2. Just kidding.
Goodness, talk about abusive relationships. Stop hitting your wife, Sal.
There's no camera either.
Stop hitting your wife or stop being kinky. I don't know what you call it, but stop it. Just kidding.
Look at it.
Ándale, see? Look, he smacked her again.
Be quiet.
Just kidding. It's getting way too kinky. Adrian left and I'm all by myself. What happened? Just kidding.
She's not going to have anybody to love.
Nobody loves me. Just kidding. Oh. No, I think that's, if anything, eclipses me saying something good is probably it. Because I'll let my emotions get the worst part of it. And then I just, like, I'll say what I need to say, but if they start getting kind of dumb, then I just kind of start with the low blows. But, but it's with good intention, like, because it's more out of protecting my kids, my husband, my friends. But it doesn't make it right. But I am fair. So I will be the first to admit when I'm wrong. Because I have a really guilty conscience. Because I'm right with the Lord. I'm telling you, when you get right with the Lord, it screws you up. Just kidding. It screws you up for being mean. No,
Guilty conscience.
No, I do.
Dang. I have one of those also. What eclipses my views? Ugh. It's kind of similar. It's very emotionally driven. Like, that's when I'll, like, lose it. And I'm like, whoa, shit, there she goes.
I don't like when vulnerable people are taken advantage of. That's my thing. If I feel like someone's really vulnerable and they're taking advantage of them, it's just not cool.
Yeah, or gullible or anything like that. My, like, mother sense kicks in and I'm like, no, that's, like, shush.
Especially because I'm really good at picking up BS. And it's like, if I can sense it on you, I'm just going to tell you, like, that's why I tell people, you know, when I got my BSN, it's not for nursing. It's a bullshit note taker. It's a bullshit noter. I can smell it a mile away.
That's probably why we're good friends. Still. I know bullshit.
Yeah, so is this something they taught you in Catholic school also?
I don't think so.
It's because we had nuns that suck at that.
You know what's kind of crazy is that we did get hit.
Who hit you?
I got hit.
By who?
I can't say. I think they're still alive.
By a teacher, though? You got hit by a teacher?
With a ruler.
No.
Yeah.
Did you deserve it?
Like a kinky kind of hit?
I was talking during class, and they
just like right now, right?
I was gonna say, ooh,
they put the ruler on
the question becomes, who was the nun and who was the priest? Just kidding. Just kidding. Look, see, Sal's getting all into this one. See,
no,
he's gonna turn into a religious freak like us. No, just kidding.
I ain't no religious freak. I'm trying to be. I'm trying.
A freak?
Ish. No, I'm just
or
trying
religious.
to be. I'm trying to be more accepting. Because as well as we were taught. There are just some things that were more indoctrinating, for lack of a better term, than being taught in a good way. I don't think that it was necessary to feel the guilt that we felt. I don't think that it was...
Because it's good old Catholic guilt.
But you see, then later on you have to discern that as an adult, right? And then I'm like, I don't want my kid learning that. That's awful. Like the guilt that we felt by looking at something that is natural. We're like, what in the world is that? And then we all went to confession. We're like, we have to go confess because we looked at boobs. And they were covered. They were just, some lady was walking and we're like, oh my God, we had never seen this before. And then we're like, did we do wrong? We did bad. We have to go. And then we like made a special thing to like go and confess. That was kind of unnecessary. And it wasn't ever told to us like, oh no, you girls are fine. That's like, whatever. It was like, go do your penance. And I'm like, what the hell? Why did we feel that guilty as children? We were under the age of 8 years old.
But I think, and if you look at most religions, there is a very traditional and guilt-ridden way of looking at the world because they want you to know, quote unquote, know right from wrong.
It's almost like not even tiptoe the line, like just stay totally far away from and that's one of the reasons I would be totally against, like, well, at least how she was saying how there were unqualified teachers. I think knowing how to teach something is also important because, like,
of course, but I also two perfect examples. Ready? Like when we took our marriage classes for religion, right? We had one of the priests come and he was like, guys, you're getting married. Sex is for procreation. That is what it's for. Otherwise, use family planning, blah, 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 right? Okay. So you sit there, you listen to the priest, and you're like, sir, what experience do you have to tell me what I need to do later? Well, that's cool. And that's cool, right? Okay, you're a priest. You represent the church. You represent what they stand for. I get that. And that's where the respect comes in. Like, okay, like, talk to me, sir. You just let it all out. Go for it. But then our guidance counselors for marriage waited till he left and was like, okay, guys, let's get real. Sex feels good, and you're going to do it a lot. So just know, like, this is what they teach, but you got to do what's right by you for, you know, contraceptive, whatever. But it's like...
Well, that was interesting, too, because our sex ed was done by a nun.
Well, originally, it was. It was followed up by my mother putting a medical book in front of me and going, "This is what a vagina looks like."
But that was good because you had that.
But that's also like, if I'm going back to being a nurse for a second, I think that it goes back to what goes on at home. You know what I mean? Like, I would have no problem sending my kid to a private school where they're like, homosexuality is horrible. And you know, it's like, okay. Where for me, then they come, they ask me questions, and I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about this. You know, and then I give them what my beliefs are. But that's where I think as parents we have to set them. It's like, okay, this is what you're hearing. This is what I feel. As you grow up, you're going to start making your own decisions.
But you see that you're a good parent. There are some kids that don't have that guidance or that care at home. Yeah. So whatever they learn at school is what they learn at school, and it's drilled. It is burnt into their head for the rest of their life. You had a mom that was going to show you the medical terminology. For real. When I first kissed a boy,
that's why I never touched anybody.
I thought I was going to get pregnant. Because I kissed somebody.
Do you remember we thought we were going to get eaten by sharks when we got our period?
Yes.
Because if we went into
we're like, we can never go swimming anymore. Like, because the sharks smell the blood. Yeah, I was scared to go camping after I got my period. Because I thought the bears were going to smell blood and they were going to come and eat me. this is the shit that I'm saying that I think is absolutely absurd. And I don't want our kid to be like, nope, this. And sometimes, like, you have a stubborn kid. We have a stubborn kid. And they're like, my teacher told me this. They're right. You're wrong. You don't know. But my teacher, they know. So you know what happens when you have a kid like that and the parent is like, yeah, I don't give a shit, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, you end up with these, like, whack-ass people.
Or just people with a different opinion, Veronica.
Well, in my opinion, they're whack-ass. I'm telling you, I'm working on accepting people. But it's difficult sometimes.
I accept minions and Oompa Loompas, but I don't accept people.
I don't quite accept animals. I love that. Just kidding. Some of them are going to learn and be very stubborn with it. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could teach you.
But that's where also I think as parents, you have to learn to be okay. You do the best you can. You teach them what you can. At the end of the day, they are their own little individual. They're gonna know. They're gonna think what they want to think later on. And my thing is, as long as they're not murdering anybody.
But that's my argument. Is I think people without that guidance are going. They have a higher probability of doing something malicious or hurtful to others because they don't believe what they believe, and what they see is from that other person is wrong, and that scares me. That scares me for like our children's future, because we're not always going to be able to watch them. We're not always going to be able to be there. We're not, you know, and that's why I'm like, let's avoid this.
I just can't live in fear.
I don't
like I'm too tired to be so fearful.
I don't particularly like it either. I think I'd rather, that's the whole teach a man to fish versus give a man a fish type scenario. Like, I'm going to teach you how to best handle the situation. And
and that's why I tell my girls, like, talk to me. Yeah. That's why I'm here. If you're not sure, you know, like, and I don't even know where she got this, because I mean, you guys know us. We love everybody. I don't care if you're black, blue, polka dot, stripe, zebra. We don't care what color you are, what religion, anything. Like, we don't care, you know. And I know Nadia was, my daughter was like, Mom, I like this little boy at school. And I was like, you have your first crush on him, you know. And she's like, but I'm afraid to tell you. And I was like, what? She was like, he's brown. And I was like, why are you afraid to tell me he's brown? And I said, and why does that matter? And I said, and I was like, what happened? And it was around Easter time. So I was like, so I said, are you worried because he's the chocolate bunny and he's going to melt? Or like, what's about to go down here, you know? And she's like, no, the little boy is brown. And I was like, but why does it matter? And she's like, oh, well, it doesn't. And I said, why do you think it matters to me? Why are you so afraid to tell me? She's like, I don't know. So my question becomes, you know, like, who taught her this? Who taught her to worry about skin color, you know? Because, shoot, she didn't learn that from me. But that's as a parent where it's like, okay, let's have a conversation, you know? And then you have the conversation, like, don't worry about that part.
So did you get it, like, out of her at all? Like,
no, I don't. I have no idea.
It's like it's been the same with ours. He sometimes will say something, and I'm like, it's got to be something he saw on TV, because, like, we can't, like, it's like, we wouldn't have done anything like that. And sometimes we try to, like, did we say something like that? And we try to count back, and we're like,
yeah, like, and I know for sure we're not, you know, we don't care.
Yeah.
I don't sit there and go, so-and-so, my black friend. Or so-and-so, my Jewish friend. Like,
and I have lots of them. Just kidding.
I know. I have a black friend. You know, no, we don't. I mean, if I have a friend who happens to be black or happens to be Jewish, all you're going to hear is their name. I don't have to, I don't feel the need to preface what they are.
Imagine. I bet you some people do.
They do it all the time. For no reason. Listen to conversations. They do it all the time.
Did
Your
you know
ears
that
sweating?
can sweat?
You gotta do it in the ASMR.
Oh my god.
Trickle, trickle, trickle.
Ear sweat.
This
It's weird 'cause
Sal's ear sweat.
Because I can't hear it right now, but I'm going to have to hear it later.
You will. Make it pop.
I can.
That's so funny.
That's gross.
We found the next bodily fluid that she doesn't like.
I like ear stuff. I like earwax and stuff. I love to clean it, but that was gross. That's true. I shouldn't. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't live in fear with it. I think it kind of switches from fear to frustration. Like, I'm like, no, such bullshit. Like, if everybody just stopped doing it, then Jesus Christ.
It's my ice maker. Shh. ASMR.
She working.
Clink, clink.
But if everybody didn't support it or like ignored it, then you don't have to deal with that. I don't know. It's some absurd thought, I guess. But it's a thought. I'm just like, no, don't add fuel to that fire. Because I do think that
To which fire?
to encouraging making people feel weird because of religion, making them feel guilty.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that.
It took me a while to kind of. I think I had the Catholic guilt too. And I didn't get over it until like I felt like I scientifically tested it. It was like I would feel. It was more like a karma thing. Like I would do something, and then something bad happens, and I would associate it. Oh, it's because I did this or whatever.
Okay, so this is going to be like a shout out to what I'm watching kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what really, honestly, is a good show? Have you watched it? The Chosen?
No.
Okay, so
Oh, one of my friends is in it.
so you're gonna sit here and think like, oh my god, this girl's like become this totally religious fanatic, and that's not it. It's just that honestly, for me personally, I grew up, in the Catholic faith. My grandma, my whole family went to church every Sunday. Literally, it was like the back pew was the Dumont family, and then we'd go to breakfast afterwards. Like that was our Sunday. And then it was, we went to a Catholic school, and I was very much a part of the church. Mm-hmm. So I was the altar server, I was in the passion play, choir, that was my family. And so when I moved here after getting married, I felt really, really lost. And religion for me was a big part of it. But it sounds going to sound really bad. If my grandma's here, she'd smite me down. But I never looked a lot at what some of the man-made rules were. You know what I mean? For example, I wasn't going to sit here and guilt myself over eating meat on a Friday during Lent.
Right.
If I was hungry after a shift, I was going to get food because I was starving, and I always took the mentality of, well, that's the whole reason Jesus did all this, is so that we don't have to suffer. Now, me not eating meat is not me suffering, but I'm just saying, the whole point, if you read about it, the whole point of people fasting was waiting for the Messiah, was waiting for him to come, was waiting for him to do what he did, and he did that. If you're asking me to do that to remember what he's doing, okay, that's one thing, but that's not mandatory.
Yeah. It's not
I can remember what he's doing by doing other things.
You see, and I think that speaks so much more. What you're saying is so much more valid than what, a lot of the people that I know that associate themselves with Catholicism do. And it may be a Hispanic culture that takes it very, very literal, but it's also very from the people that I have been exposed to again. What is the word? Like at their own convenience. Convenancieros, right? So it's like, oh, well, chicharrón isn't meat. It's a skin. It's the skin of the animal. And I'm like, the freaking animal had to die. You just didn't skin it and then fry its skin. You're eating the animal. Like, if that's the whole thing about it, then don't be convenient about what you're saying. Do it with your whole heart. Not just pick and choose the things that you're enjoying or care to partake in or whatever it may be.
Like, I never looked at Lent as, like, this is my diet plan. Yeah. So I'm going to give up candy. I'm gonna
but it's so done by so many people.
For sure. And so, like, when I get, like, in high school, I gave up meat for Lent 1 year. And my mom asked me, why are you giving up meat? And I said, because there are so many people around the world that don't have food. And I said, in this Lent, it's not about, I want to necessarily remember what Jesus did and, you know, do all this fasting. I said, I really want to appreciate what I have by not eating it and remembering those who don't always have a meal on the table, who don't always have what I have, you know, and I want to give up something that I take for granted because I can easily go into my freezer now, cook up a steak and be done. But not everybody can do that, you know? And so when I do stuff, it's more, I really like to give it meaning for myself because I want it to mean something. I don't want it just to be a fad diet kind of thing. You know, like this year, I gave up Facebook for Lent. But it was because, like I said, I had felt lost and all this stuff, and I had signed up for that Hallow app, and I really, really enjoyed it. And especially after watching The Chosen, I really felt like The Chosen reminded me of who Jesus was and the purpose of what he was for and the purpose he was sent for. Because in The Chosen, if you watch it, he's so real. Like, he's so personable. When you watch a lot of these older movies, you're kind of afraid of Jesus. Like, oh God, like, and he's just not personable.
How old is this show?
It's still going on. Yeah,
happening right now.
Yeah,
oh, really?
But like, he's so personable.
Is this like, what is the premise? Is it but is it like
so
an actual
it's just
story just Jesus?
No. So it's very interesting. So the creator, I want to say, is Protestant. The guy who actually, Jonathan Romy, who actually plays Jesus, is Catholic.
Okay.
So the director got together with, and he says it too, because he said it. I was like, that sounds like a joke. A priest, a rabbi, and a Muslim. Some like leaders in these religious communities.
They walk into a bar
and say, "Ha!" Just kidding. Lord, no.
God. I didn't know you believed in him.
So he got together with these people, and they read through the Bible, they read through, you know, the Gospels and stuff, and collectively took pieces of history, true history, like history books, the Gospel, different things like that, different like actual historical accounts and stuff, and created this series based off the Gospels in the Bible. And they do tell you, like, some of these characters their lives are made up, or but they try to really keep to the stories of the Bible. But it's just like how Jesus started coming out. Like, he was just kind of quiet, and then he would do miracles, but he'd be like, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody I did this yet. Like, and his mom even asked, like, why aren't you telling anybody? He's like, it's not my time yet. Just like, quiet one, you know. But then, like, he makes these little jokes with people, and he's just so personable in this series. Whereas another series that I've watched, they're just so serious, and there are serious aspects to it. But it just, I don't know. No. Like, I just really resonated with the series, and I feel like it reminded me of the religion that I had in El Paso, which is more of a home. And here in San Antonio, a lot of these churches are way more conservative than the one I attended in El Paso. But the one when I finally found this church, yes, it's conservative, but it fit more like home, and it needs, no matter what religion, I think you have to have a feeling of home and a feeling of relation and stuff like that. But I also think that people forget that it's your relationship with God. It's between you two. And the relationship I have with Veronica is going to be completely different than the relationship I have with Sal. And it's going to be completely different from the relationship I have from Adrian or my daughters. But those are my relationships to cherish. Just like you have your own and you have your own. And so for people to sit there and judge and to act like this is how it should be, you know, it's like I have to remind myself, this is my relationship with him. How does my relationship work with him? And it's not a cuando conviene kind of relationship, you know, it's like how I treat my relationship with God the way I would treat any of my other relationships. I work at it. I take my faults and be like, ooh, kind of messed up there. And I am one of those that I'm very much the person to say, I can't handle this. You need to take this from me because it's just too much. I like knowing that there is that help for me, because I truly felt, you know, divine mercy come in and be like, hey, you need to take these twins in. And so when things get real hard, it is this, you told me to take them, you need to help me. You know, and that's exactly how I talk to them. It's like, you told me to do this. Now don't you sit here and leave me when things get rough. Like, get over here. You know? Because that's my relationship with him. But your relationship's going to be different. And who am I to tell you what kind of relationship to have with God? And that's why I said in the beginning, these holier, quote-unquote, than thou people who sit here and judge. It's like, who made you the judgy person? Like, you don't know what's in my heart. You don't know, you know, I can't tell you how many judgy things people have said about, you know, one of the most judgy things people have said about me with the twins, especially earlier on when they could really tell Natalie was special needs as a baby, was, I bet you won't do IVF again.
Jesus Christ. No pun intended.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know, it's like, girl, you don't even know my story. And so my reply to her was I said, are you Christian? She goes, yeah. I said, so you believe in Judgment Day? She said, yeah. And I said, I would thank God right now I'm not the one judging you. And I walked away.
This was at church?
No, this was at a store.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. I could write a book on the stories that...
You should.
I don't have time to write a book. I could
just jot them down like a voice.
But the things that people have said to us, I mean, they've made it like where my stroller drops. They drop my stroller with my kid in it. It's kind of crazy.
They've said that?
No, they dropped my stroller with Natalie in it.
They dropped it?
They dropped my stroller.
Who dropped it?
Who dropped it?
A stranger who didn't like that we had a handicap sticker on the stroller, and she thought we were going to get into the ride first.
Into the what?
Onto a ride first. And it's like, oh, the strollers belong over there. It's like, you're not even a worker here who just said I could go. Grabbed my stroller with Natalie in it, and it fell backwards, and she hit her head on the suction machine. And then God intervened, because then I was so worried about Natalie that I didn't have time to mess with her. Which is why I tell people I need a bond account, because one of these days I know I'm going to end up in jail.
Yeah.
So if you ask me what
I was about to say, are they still alive or not?
They are. It's such a divine mercy.
Did she understand what she did?
No, because she walked away before I could. But I did tell her, because we got... Afterwards, I saw her up front, and I said, I hope the show's worth it. I said, we didn't even want to sit up front. But I told her, I said, I hope the bump on my kid's head is worth your front row view.
And
I
she
said it in
nothing.
front of everybody. I just yelled it out because we were in the back. And I went, hey! And she looked at me and I said, I hope your view's worth it. But see, that's the other thing is I have to watch how I say things in front of my kids because I need them to be graceful about things, you know. So I can't always be what I'm known for, which is being a little saucy. I have to come up with comments that are classy.
I have the same problem.
This is trippy.
Why? Because you're hearing a lot of me, huh?
Yeah. Especially when they call Natalie, oh, you're the lazy twin. And I'm just like... That was the first comment ever said to me when I had a special needs kid, and that broke me. I think I cried for a week over that one. And then I learned, nope, you better get tough, girl.
Wow.
Because they just keep coming.
And see stuff like that. And, like we were talking about this too the other day. Like even internet comments. Like, what makes you say the things that people say? Like, what was that final push? Like, oh, my comment needs to be heard. Like, why? Why do you need to say anything?
I started asking, are you trying to be rude?
Yeah. Me too. I've started doing that even online too. And
What did you mean by that exactly? Please explain to me like I'm 5. What you just meant by those words that came out of your mouth. Do you even remember what came out of your mouth?
And I know a lot of it is about reading the room. Because, like, there's a difference when somebody says, what's wrong with your kid? And what's wrong with her? Like, when the little viejitas come up to her and want to pray over her and are like, why, what's wrong with her? You know, it's like, I don't take offense to that because you just read the room, you know, like, they don't mean it. They're not malicious. They're not trying to. Right. They're of the generation that's like, what's wrong? Like, they don't know what's happening here because in those days, these babies didn't make it, you know? And then there's
what's wrong? Like, what's wrong?
But that's
what happened.
Yeah,
but these are the same generation though. That's like, I have colored friends. That's what they know. That's why I say it's a generational thing, you know. So like, you have to read the room. So it's like when it's a little viejita, and I know it's this thing, and it's like, whatever. I'll tell you a little something. I'll give you a snippet. But if it's something that's like I've had people legit say, "What's wrong with her?" And I just answer, "I have nothing. What's wrong with you?" Like nothing. What's wrong with you? And then they get caught off by that. They're like, what? You just learn, I don't know, you learn to get funny with some of your remarks. Like, I had a nurse tell me that that she should be able to help me. A pediatric nurse came up to me one time. Because it was when she was little, when Natalie was real little. And she couldn't clear her secretions. And so we had to suction her a lot. And I was in the bathroom with a Red Lobster. And that's what she was doing. She was choking on her spit. And she said she was a PD nurse, came in and was like, here, let me help you. I'm a nurse. We can do the Heimlich. And I'm looking at her, first of all, going, do I look panicked? And she's like, well, she's choking. I was like, yes. That's why we have a suction machine. And that's why I'm suctioning her. And then I asked her, I said, can I ask you something? I said, you're a nurse? She said, yeah. I said, how's the Heimlich going to save her from spit? So let's think about this for a second.
Not only that, as soon as you pump all the oxygen out, I have nothing nice to say.
So then, then you just sit there and go, okay. I go, no, I'm fine, thank you. And then, first rule of being a PD nurse is you listen to the parents. If the parents are saying, I'm fine, you walk away. They're fine. But, yeah, I was like, I sat there. I still try to figure her out. Like, what was I going to do with the Heimlich for spit? But people are weird.
They sure are.
I don't know. I'm weird to people.
Yeah, I've accepted that too.
I'm super weird to people. I'm super weird to you all. And you've known me forever.
But our weird works together.
Why did you just put that marker in your nose? I thought it was going to be fun.
I can tell you this too. At the coming on the way over here, we stopped at a gas station. Xavier needed to go to the restroom. And there's a line for the men's stalls. Like, so the urinals are going, like they're going, but so the stalls have a line.
That pisses me off.
No, but so all the doors are closed or whatever, and I knock on one of them, just check if there's anybody in there or whatever, and it's like, it's busy, obviously, and I'm like I didn't even this. Okay, whatever. Like,
see, that shit Michael Myers is me. Like, I want to kick it in and then right in the head.
If it was that obvious, you think I wouldn't be knocking? Like, I also don't want to be the idiot that's standing outside of an empty stall, like thinking that it's that it's.
See, that's where like the low blows come in. Also, like, oh, sorry, I couldn't see you, you short fuck, or something like that. You know, like.
I don't know. I also think, like I said, and we talked about this, I think life circumstances also is what kind of leads how you think about things too. Like I feel like I've been through a lot, but I also have been through a lot of therapy. And I've come to terms with a lot of who I am, where I am in life, and what people think about. So I just kind of am more, and I have a different perspective on things. My perspective is literally a life or death perspective, and so if it's not going to cause a life or death moment, then I'm usually like, meh. Whatever.
You see, and that's what I'm learning from you since we've arrived, or like even from before, because I know about all of your circumstances. I've never been in your home to see all of the circumstances, nor like when's the last time that we even had dinner together? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so to see all of how you guys work in action is incredibly humbling. Incredibly. And you're just like, this is the shit I do every day. This is just
called it. Sunday. This is what we call Sunday.
Yeah, and it's mind-blowing to me. And I'm like, oh, this is how come she can't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
At all. Because your drama is like real drama. Do I hear an alarm? No?
I don't hear it on here.
It's probably Natalie's ventilator. Let's see. If it is, Adrian will come out.
But he's like super tired. Do you need to check? We can push pause.
No.
Okay.
Should we wrap it up anyways or no?
Yeah.
Yep. Alright. Well.
So thank you so much. Not just like for the podcast, not just for staying, not just for whatever, but like the teaching, the learning, to see it all is amazing, humbling, and it makes me want to strive to be a better, all of it, a better everything. So I really do appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad.
Same. Thank you so much for bringing us or letting us into your house.
Yeah.
It's our chaos. I told you though.
Yeah.
It's
like it's not a big thing to us. It's
your
like
chaos is so much more organized than it would ever. It could be like.
Like, remember, I'm a middle school teacher. this is.
I know. And I work with special needs
that's
kiddos
scary.
all the time.
like that's scary.
But your circumstances are on a whole other level.
It's different when you have to live with them.
Because
I've taken care of lots of special needs kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you live with them, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
All the things. That could be a podcast in and of itself. I'm telling you, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why so you guys are going to be up and coming.
Yep.
Stay tuned for more craziness.
Oh, it's going to get so good.
See, that's why you should move here, though. Oh. You and I could do the podcast together.
Well, thank goodness for technology. We can do this virtually.
I know.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just, so one thing going back to, and I remember us having this conversation before, you had called me and you're not panicked, but you're like, I have a really big conniption and I don't know what to do. You already knew what to do as a nurse, right? But as a mom, you're like, what do I do with my kid? I need to talk to you about speech stuff. And I'm like, you know these answers. And you're like, I just need to hear it. You know? And again, it goes back to, it's a whole other level when it's your own.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I always call my mom and I'm like, Mom, look, I already know what I'm going to do. I just need to talk it out. And I'll tell her, okay, she's doing this. This is my plan. I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. And if that doesn't work, my next plan is going to be E, F, G, and H. Does that sound good? Am I crazy? Am I being... Like, part of it is because as a mom, you don't want to take her to the hospital.
Right.
And I'll do anything I can. And I've had the nurses be like, Anna, you've done it all. We need to take her. And I'm like, no. And then it's like, okay, I know. So I do talk things out because I just want to make sure that I'm not crazy or... There's a reason you don't treat your own family. And so I want to make sure that I'm not going into this with a jaded mind of like, she's fine, when she's not okay.
Right.
You know, at the same time, you know, people panic when she's doing stuff, and I'm like, just calm down, give it a minute, give the treatments time to work, and if they don't work at this time, then we'll take her, you know. But
Oof.
I just need people to listen sometimes to be like, am I doing the right thing? And I think that just comes too from, I don't know, I might cry if I say this next part, but it's just, if she does die, I just want to know that I didn't mess up. It wasn't my fault. If I can't catch her seizures on time, or if I can't bring her back.
You keep fighting.
I'm just
God.
saying, like, I just
Keep
don't
doing
want... The last 2 big seizures, though, were... I just happened to catch her on the monitor. I happened to hear something on the monitor, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. And I look, and that's when she do it. And so my questions become like, what if I missed it? What if I missed the next? What if I'm so tired I don't hear it? So I don't sleep. I just wake up every hour and look at my monitor, and then I go back to sleep. But I don't know.
It's okay. You keep
That's why I keep calling people. Am I doing this right? Because half the time I'm so exhausted, and that's why I want to be cremated.
I know.
I don't want to wake up anymore when I'm dead. Okay.
I know. Let me freaking rest. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Imagine the ashes
No
come
post-credit scene.
No more. No. What's it called? No more Evie going, Mom, wake up. Let's look at the sunrise. No. I am the sunrise. No, just kidding.
The sun rises when I say it does.
No.
Yeah,
The sun is setting.
As we keep you up till my phone died. I went to 1:25 in the morning. Whoops.
All right, well, thank you for you guys who tuned in. Visit our website, www.omni-versal.com, and send us topics, comments, fan mail, hate mail. Email us at info@omni-versal.com. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube.